Well, mommy, you're a scholar and a I get it. Say, sweet meat. It's great.
And if your family start going at it on Thanksgiving, don't give us a story time. Go fucking live. Go live. We want to see it. And if your family start going at it on Thanksgiving, don't give us a story time. Go fucking live. Go live. We want to see it. And if your family start going at it on Thanksgiving, don't.
Well, all right, I received the call from. Well, now, I don't mean to be different in your business, but I've been listening to you dudes talk about women, and I want to run down on something to you. Now, all you need to get a woman is a strong rap. Hey, what I say. Every woman in the streets wants a piece of me. They call me sweet. The Keter, the broom beater, the baby maker, and the cradle shaker, the deal slayer, the bus minder, and the women's finest. And known from the Gold Coast to the rocky shores of Maine, love is my name, and love is my game. I'm the bed tucker, the milkshaker, the record breaker, and the population maker. All right, I received a call from one of my fur brothers, and he was telling me this Thanksgiving he was inviting a lady friend over. He wanted to cook for her, but she was from the islands. So, traditionally, she wouldn't have been used to what he was going to make on a traditional basis. So, I was like, well, man, since you're from the island, how about you just go with an oxtail? And you can't go wrong with pasta or seafood. He was like, man, I really like this one. I want all of that. I want like pasta, oxtail, and seafood. So I was like, man, you know how expensive oxtail is? He was like, yeah, man, but for this one, she deserves it. She's worth it. I said, all right, cool. Well, how about you hit her with a Caribbean style loaded stuffed shell? He said, what you mean? I said, we're going to hit her with a Caribbean style shell. We're going to stuff this oxtail, shrimp, we're going to come with like a lemon glazed Parmesan sauce. We're going to put it in the bottom, we're going to come with homemade seafood stock. You know, we're going to go off.
Good morning, happy Thanksgiving. What is y'all cooking?
So this is the video. We're going to do a loaded stuffed shell.
This is some seafood devil eggs.
Made a homemade cream sauce to go over it. Put it in the oven and it came out delicious. Then top it with a couple of pieces of lobster tail. Come on, man.
Hi, how's everyone?
Most of all, y'all already know how it was.
Who's cooking?
All right, I received a call from one of my.
At this time, I'll take questions. Yes, you. Go ahead.
This is some seafood devil eggs.
What? So if I have a question, you still would. Okay, just tell me that you can do it. If I told you, like, you can call me the B word. Shut up, bitch!
I couldn't imagine what Tom has gone through.
Get out!
I've seen his mother. And his
And you really, I'm sick of your shit!
when I saw Ellen.
Let's not play with me.
And then I'm making some regular devil eggs. Thank you.
You just told me I do.
Making some regular devil eggs.
No, I would never do that. You just acting like that.
Right now, I got some roast that I just took out. Let me show y'all how tender. This is so tender.
You told me to not say it.
The following morning, I find out that Tom
So tender.
I'm reading.
Like the lamb truck, when they walking away, they damn look. I can call this bitch my man up. You will see it come back when the bands up. They know my name, no headstone. When you mama, they gon' say I'm dead wrong. See my little niggas, they all love me. But I don't wanna talk when I'm dead wrong. I've been through it all, the jail, the wall, the drills, and dollar a hill, the law. My PM keep calling me asking for money. When I'm a lot, you fuck all my calls, and they ain't bringing up the past. Yeah, they staying on one for the future. Yeah, they ain't fucking with me, I ain't fucking with them. Fuck you, man, for the future. I play hit the flip, I hooked up. I'll be the money that fucked up. Yeah, I come from the parties, I hooked up. Now I'm stepping on the
Oh, thank you.
and I see this shit coming, I snuck up. I was supposed to be up. You can act later, I ain't even up. Or my dad some Gucci, G up. I thought that in that car, I'm beat up.
Second, thank you,
So
Lord,
what I'm
for my
about to
home.
do,
Your
y'all,
peace allows me to rest in a quiet and blessed night. Third, I know the Lord takes care of me, casting away all anxiety and preparing my tomorrows. Fourth, Lord, forgive me for anything that displeases you. Purify me by your grace, so I can sleep in peace. Never go to sleep without saying these four things to God. The last one will
That makes no sense to say.
I'm about to show y'all something.
I've been downhearted, woman, ever since the day we met. Life ain't nothing but the blues. How blue can you get? I bought you a brand new phone. You said I want a Cadillac. I bought you a $10 dinner. You said thanks for the snack. I let you live in my penthouse. You said it was just a shack. I gave you 7 children. And now you want to give them back. That's music that makes sense.
So what I'm about to do, I just pulled the juice off the rose. So I'm about to use some
But you
cornstarch
want a
for
prince you
thickness.
can worship? He was born in Bethlehem, reared in Nazareth, died one Friday, got up early one Sunday morning. That prince is coming back again. He's the Prince of Peace. He's the fairest of 10,000. He's the bright and the morning star. That's a prince you can worship.
So that's what I just did. I made gravy.
Now, the first 3 verses,
Yeah.
the first 3 verses, David is praising God to us. But beginning in verse 4, David starts praising God to God.
If you're living with dry AMD, you may
And brothers and sisters, worship is about talking to Him about Him. We use a word at funerals that's not a funeral word. We use the word eulogy at funerals. But a eulogy is not a funeral word. A eulogy is obsequious remarks. It's glowing, loving remarks about a person. And we
Y'all wanna
eulogize
see
a
my
person at a funeral,
decorations?
but it's not a sad word. To eulogize means to give praise to one while
This
they
is my
can
tree.
hear.
I'm not finished with the wall. My tree.
And I think I told you, I got a whole lot of extra stuff from my grandmother.
My other tree. That's not finished. And the
You can
stairway.
get a whole lot of blessings from God
And this.
when you talk to Him,
And
when you don't
this.
want nothing. Someone will help me appreciate it. I come to the garden of the Lord
you.
while the dew is still on the road. And the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God is born.
And I got a turkey outside on the grill. I marinated this turkey all night.
Worship him in his presence. Because when you're in the presence of God, there's proximity to goodness. You gonna help me close this, won't you? Yeah. So I walk through the valley. Now let me testify. That's my testimony. I've been in the literal valley of the shadow of
Yeah,
death.
when I say I cooked a lot of food, I have cooked a lot of food.
Went in the valley of the shadow of death. According to the doctors, I'm not even supposed to be here. I should have been dead. And if I was not going to die, they said you're going to have to put him in a nursing home because he will be a vegetable for the rest of his life. Here I am this morning in Lily Grove pulpit testifying. There's a difference between walking in the valley and walking through the valley. Because to walk through the valley is to come out on the other side with a testimony. Here this morning has been through your own personal valley of the shadow of death, but God brought you through. And since you come through, don't let nobody quash your enthusiasm.
At some point, Ida did provide Mr. King with the necessary paperwork to get the laptop repaired. Mr. King explained
I'm not going to let anybody
there wasn't really any friction.
hush my praise.
Open and honest when he was speaking with us, and you're having trouble answering.
If you don't want to praise him,
We asked him where he
I will.
was, the weekend of murder, and he confirmed.
If you don't want to magnify his name, go sit somewhere else. If you don't want to thank him for his mercy, you might want to find you another pew. Because if you go
Hi,
sit in this
happy
section,
Thanksgiving, everyone.
there's going to be some racket. There's going to be some hand waving. Don't wear no big hat because it might get knocked off. Don't be too dressed up if you're going to sit by me. Because I woke up this morning with my life stayed on Jesus. I didn't come here to see you this morning. I thank God for your fellowship. But you're not the fellow I came to get in the ship with. I thank God for your handshake. But you're not the hand I came to hold this morning. I came this morning because he kept me all last night. And then he woke me up early this morning. Have I got a witness here? He's been good to me all week last week. Dangers I could see and dangers I couldn't see. There were floods all over the city of Houston. But no drop of water got in my house. Because the Lord is my shepherd. Is there anybody here can testify he's my shepherd? Is there anybody here can help me say I shall not want? If the Lord has been good to you and you're not ashamed to testify, if the Lord made a way for you and you don't care who you're sitting me magnify him. Come on, help me thank him for being a great shepherd. He's been a great shepherd. He leads me. He guides me. He protects me. He makes a way for me. He opens doors for me. If the Lord been good to you, come on, help me praise him. Why don't you grab somebody? Why don't you shake somebody's hand and tell them you don't know my story? You looking at me this morning? Come on, preach to them like I'm preaching. But you don't really know my story. You don't know how many storms the Lord has brought me through. You don't know how many tears I've cried in the midnight hour. You don't know how sick I've been when nobody was around to help me. You don't know how depressed I was when things fell apart in my life. But the Lord made a way for me. You will help me praise him, won't you? Shake somebody's hand. Tell him the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He making me to lie down in green pasture. Come on, preach it like I'm preaching. He restores my soul. He leads me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yay! That makes no sense to me. Sing music to me that makes sense.
The entire McDonald's crew just set this man up for a moment he will never forget, and it has gone viral all over social media.
Have you ever clocked out to an early Christmas gift? I usually don't celebrate Christmas. Well, I take that.
Thank you. What is this a gift card or? Tesla. I don't know what Tesla.
Well, why don't you just ask if you can clock out early and meet me outside if you can.
What happens next is going to be the last time he clocks out walking on foot.
So your manager told me you have been walking on foot. You don't have a car right now, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, any idea what that might be?
Not really. It says Tesla, it's a car.
You take a look right over there.
Yeah.
I want you to
No way.
go ahead and read.
Who dare touch her?
I always gotta add season. All right. I'm gonna take one that I made. Roll it over.
Security, get her out of here.
Wait.
How did you know my son? Hey, where's my mom? Who do you think you are? You must have a
So y'all, I made a thickness for it. What I'm gonna do now.
Click to watch the full episode.
I ended up being in a bad relationship because I wasn't trying to do it.
Put it back in the refrigerator. I mean, in the oven. That's in the refrigerator.
I had to say that my husband in the audience, I ain't gonna argue with him all the way down the road about who I was talking about.
So I got yams and a turkey. Now I'm about to put the roast back in here.
I said, hold up, man, he got more time to spend with me. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of good.
I got chitlins.
They said, Kitty, you don't need to be with him. He ain't got no car. I said, mind your business. He ain't got no license. He don't need no car. You know, I'm talking about him.
I got greens over here, and I got neck bones over here.
He took me to his mama's house. Okay, I'll be honest. I drove her to his mama's house. Y'all, when I got there, she looked at me like I wasn't nobody. She looked at me, she said, how did you end up with my son? Like he was a dying preacher. I looked at her, I said, man, I have low self-esteem.
don't know what I forgot to do.
And as soon as I get myself together, I'm gonna give your record song right back to you. Because I am somebody.
I forgot to put butter.
Don't stop. I ended up being in a bad relationship because I wasn't trying to do it in everybody. Because this is, and this was a long time ago. I had to say that my husband in the audience, I ain't gonna argue with him all the way down the road about who I was talking about. It was a long time ago. They said, Kitty, you don't need to be with him. He ain't got no job. I said, hold up, that means he got no time to spend with me. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find it good with me. They said, Kitty, you don't need to be with him. He ain't got no car. I said, mind your business. He ain't got no license. He don't need no car. You know, I'm trying to find the good in him. But this is what got me. He took me to his mama's house. Okay, I'll be honest. I drove us to his mama's house. Y'all, when I got there, she looked at me like I wasn't nobody. She looked at me, she said, how did you end up with my son? Like he was a diamond piece.
Alright, so now it goes back in the oven.
I have no self-esteem. Yeah, and as soon as I get myself together, I'm gonna give your record song right back to you. Because I am somebody. Yes, baby. Don't stop.
It was the night before Jesus came, and all through the house.
Now, I'm about to clean my mess, y'all.
Their Bibles were laid on the shelf without care, in hopes that Jesus would not come there. The children were dressing to crawl in the bed, not once ever kneeling or bowing their heads. Mom and Morocco were
I gotta make my
dinner.
dinner
They
egg.
were watching the late show while I took a nap. When out of the east there rose such a cloud, I sprang to my feet to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, opened the shutter, threw up the shade. And what to my wondering eyes should appear, but angels proclaiming that Jesus was here.
This is my dressing
When the
right
light
here.
like the sun,
I gotta put that in the oven
bright,
next first.
I knew in a moment this must be the day. The light of his face made me cover my head. It was Jesus returning just like he had said. Although I possessed worldly wisdom and wealth, I cried when I seen him in spite of myself. The book of life which he held in his hand was written the name of every saved man. He spoke not a word while he searched for my name. He said it's not here, my head hung in shame. The people whose names that was written in love, he gathered to take to his Father above. But those who already arose without a sound, while all the rest were left standing around. I fell to my knees, but it was too late. I waited too long, and that sealed my fate. I stood and I cried while it goes out of sight. Oh, if only I'd been ready tonight. The words of this poem, the meaning is clear. The coming of Jesus is drawing near. There's only one life, and one comes the last call. We find that the Bible was true. It was the night before Jesus came, and all through the house.
Some of you may have had some sleepless nights. Those times when you cried, and the days that you thought that you wasn't gonna make it. But God kept you right here, and He preserved you for a time such as that. Everything that you are, everything that you have become, and everything that you will be. Don't forget that you owe it all to Him. Some of you may have had some sleepless nights. Those times when you cried, and the days that you thought that you wasn't gonna make it. But God kept you right here, and He preserved you for a time such as that.
Hey, I'm done with that.
I ain't ready.
I'll do with mine.
Move my thing over. crazy long.
everything that you will.
Yeah.
Don't forget that you owe it all to him.
Who's that? That bull right there?
It's a net right there. You want to grab
I
me?
thought so. You know. I don't really need jewelry.
Some of you may have had some sleepless nights.
Supposed to have one.
Those times when you cried and the days that you thought that you wasn't gonna make it. But God kept you right here. And He preserved you for a time such as that. Come and everything that you will. Don't forget that you owe it all to Him. Some of you may have had some sleepless nights. Those times when you cried.
Happy Thanksgiving. Sorry, y'all, that I look raggedy right now, but once I get dressed, I will not be looking like this.
On May 6, 2022, after deliberating for over 45 minutes, the jury returned to the verdict.
Thomas Crowe is convicted of first-degree premeditated murder by a Manatee County jury and is sentenced to life in prison without parole.
My mother never left my vision, ever. Went to bed thinking about my mom, woke up thinking about my
Let's
mom.
put my dish nets up.
She brought sunshine to everyone that she entered. She brought love in everything she did. My mother is buried in Sarasota National Cemetery, right next to my father. I feel that they are together forever, and in my heart, I have to believe that they are with each other. They say that blood is thicker than water. The family comes first. But in the case of Tom Groves, money came first. The extraordinary betrayal of his mother, whose life he once saved, resulted in blood on his hands. Ina spent her life loving and serving others. Her husband Sam, her children, her community. Only to have her fully taken away by the last person who respect, her only son, in what became a killer relationship.
When I initially heard of those insurance, I didn't know what to do. But it takes everyone by surprise.
A fisherman finds a body in Lake Herman.
We determined that multiple gunshot wounds. This is no longer a missing persons investigation. This is a murder investigation. Got to find out who won't kill a police officer and why they're not living with the motive behind it. The location closed.
Great stories about my mom.
Watch your tongue.
Okay. What? What? It's 12 Garvin.
Jeff was her one true love. He made her feel really good about herself. Until her world is shattered.
He was having extramarital relationships. As devastating as this was, Kathy was not in a hurry to get a divorce.
Kathy was so The top of Kathy's head was virtually just beat into the
Some type of madman did this.
Was it jealousy and rage?
This woman shows up and says, I'm his fiance.
Or something more sinister? She never saw it coming, that's the problem. It's just so tragic. That led to a killer relationship.
I just really never see my sister again.
You never forget your first love, even if it's weak. It makes you the songs that love in distance. That spark crush turns into a lifelong commitment. That's what happened to Kathy Rivian. Her teenage romance with Jeff Lamb eventually leads to marriage. And Kathy takes her vows to heart. Even with Jeff's strengths, Kathy is willing to work on the relationship to give them another shot to go the distance. For this enduring couple, it seems that love does conquer all. But unfortunately, this love story will not have a happy ending. Born on July 24th, 1973, in Frederick, Maryland, Kathy Rivian is just a young child when her parents divorced. She hopes to live with her mother in Maryland. When Kathy turns 15, she yearns for the presence of her father.
Her mom and my dad didn't have the best divorce situation, but thankfully Kathy wanted to get to know her dad, and she called my mother and was like, hey, I kind of want to live with you and dad. And the next day they drove up together and brought back.
In 1989, Kathy starts her new life in Juneau, Florida, under the same roof as her father, stepmother Benita, and younger sister Amber.
I was about 4 or 5 when she moved down, and I was just excited to have someone there for me that I can grow up with.
This is bad. Bad, bad.
Annoying so much. It's annoying her so much.
When Kathy
First out here, she was shy. She was very shy. As with any young woman, I think she suffered from insecurities about her physical stature. With growing up a little bit heavier, Kathy had a lot of self-esteem issues. Something that I believe was a life changer for Kathy was the relationship she had with Benita. That support and compassion and unconditional love. Benita opened her arms and said, this is my daughter. I'm going to help her in any way I can. It didn't take her long. She blossomed. She made some really, really good friends down here, which I think helped her a lot. I was the one to hang out at. Because I just remember always having kids, like all the kids were always there.
One of those kids is a handsome teenager named Jeffrey Lamb.
Kathy and Jeff first met. She was 17 and he was 17. They were the same age. Jeff was with a friend group, and Jeff just kind of showed up to our house one day and never left. He didn't start much on her. They just kind of were just hanging out all the time and maybe mutually decided this might work. I kind of really like you. Kind of like you too. Let's just see how our relationship works.
The high school sweethearts graduate in 1991 and date for 2 more years. Then, they take the next big step.
In 1993, Kathy came home saying that her and Jeff got married in the courthouse. None of us knew. We had no clue what was happening. We were as shocked as they that happened. I think there were concerns about how young they were, but I think there was also a lot of optimism. And so Jeff became part of the family. They lived in Lake Park on Silver Beach Road. It's not the best area to live in, but they were comfortable there. Kathy does not belong to college, and we ended up looking for a towing company. They were a young married couple and money's tight. She wanted to become a pharmacist. And she started out at Walgreens being a cashier. But she worked her way up in that pharmacy.
I was a staff pharmacist. She was my technician, and she just became a friend. We were in our 20s, and we hung out after hours. We would go to bars. We had a blast.
I would kind of give Kathy a cup on the arm occasionally and say, "What about kids? What about kids?" And she was like, "Oh no, no kids." She had her fur babies. Those dogs loved her so much. Jeff loved his dogs like his children also. Those were their babies. Kathy and Jeff were loving and committed to each other.
The Lambs happily celebrate their 5-year anniversary in July of 1998. But there's trouble brewing beneath the surface. 7 years into the marriage, friends and family are shocked to learn that Jeff is no longer living at home.
We were taken by surprise that Jeff had moved. That is not anything that Kathy shared with me. I found out that they had separated from my sister. Jeff left the home because he was having extramarital relationships. Kathy kept saying inside. I think that I just it was just devastating. But as devastating as this separation was, she pulled herself up. She said, I'm worth it. I'm going to be happy. She was super bright. She's very motivated. That's how she was able to climb the corporate ladder. She went to be a lead technician, and then when the district scheduler role opened up, they offered it to her, and she took it.
To soothe her broken heart, Kathy spends the next 5.5 years focused on herself, her work, and her 2 dogs, Nipper and Dakota. But first loves are hard to forget.
All the time, Kathy was so solid with Jeff. She was so attached to Jeff and didn't want to date anybody else. Jeff was her one true love. I know that they continued. Jeff started kind of roaming and kind of putting it out there that since there was no divorce, reconciling would be an easy process. He made her feel really good about herself. She started seeing him again. They were officially back together.
For months, the couple worked hard on their relationship, and the effort pays off. In early June, Jeff moves back in with Kathy. But the honeymoon period is short-lived. 1 week later, on June 15, 2004, on what's supposed to be a date night for the couple, Jeff comes home from work and instead walks into the night. First responders arrived to find Kathy dead on the scene. After securing
Thank you for hitting that light.
Detective Kim Bradley is called in to work the case.
When I arrived around 7:30, the first person I came into contact was Jeff. He was distraught and seemed confused.
This is Detective Health. The present is Detective Bradley with the Sheriff's Office.
When you first arrive at a scene like this, everyone is a suspect. But at the same time, you always have to remember, if they're not, they just went through something horrible. Just said when he arrived at the house, he was surprised because the dogs would usually come and greet him, and they were not at the door.
I understand from a briefing with the other detectives, they said that you spoke to her while she was at work. She was going to get up early, so she could clean up and try to make the early movie.
We had Jeff go back into the house and secure the dogs. They were in the main living area of the home. Nipper was in her bed, and Dakota was under the kitchen table. When they were brought out, I did see wounds on top of their heads.
And there's a third dog in the house. Jeff's dog, Wookie
break the front window and get him banded through the window. When we first entered the house, Kathy's body was lying just feet from the door. There was extensive amounts of blood. The top of Abby's head was virtually just eaten.
It appeared that some type of madman did this, or multiple people, because the crime scene was so violent. Between blood and brain matter, it was everywhere.
I've never seen someone who had been beat to that degree. After we saw the extent of Kathy's injuries, we backed out and executed a search warrant. So while I waited at the scene, somebody informs me that Jeff's fiance is there. His what?
His what?
He's reconciling with Kathy. I'm just trying to figure out who is with who.
Nobody saw anything. This person was a ghost.
He's been cleaning up and found a human tooth with the jackpot.
At Cracker Barrel, we holiday the country way. Turkey is crispy fried to juicy perfection. And our new French toast gets a swirl of cinnamon for the season. So come on, man, so it's country. Cheers. L'Oréal Paris presents a shocking thriller.
Greyroot's won't hold you.
Magic recovery.
3, 2, 1, done. Say goodbye, Grace.
By L'Oréal Paris.
You're worth it. You gotta check this out. Amazing. I'm obsessed with humans on the internet. It's the virtually indestructible hardball liquid.
Look at the skin, baby. She is glowing. She is one of one. Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash has 10 times more vitamin D3 complex for visibly nourished skin. My skin is so much more moisturized. Olay Body Wash and Lotion. Discover yours.
In my opinion, it's the epitome of work art. Everything from flavor to color to texture is scrutinized. Am I a ketchup nerd? Absolutely.
Here's the list. These waters happen on the bike. Instead of purifies, she bought Poise Ultra Fit. So she can bounce on with clean, dry, fresh protection from Poise.
I worry things falling behind in growth. So we tried Pediasure. It's clinically proven to help kids grow with 27 vitamins and minerals and protein. Now he's thriving and smiling. Pediasure is a win for all of us.
Topped off the new size smash your love with a premium queso. With hand smash patties made to order, piece of cheese, and other cheap taste buds. And we're about to get real functional. The new double-sided queso smasher is part of our smash trial.
Remember this? Can't believe we didn't always wear sunscreen. Let's not regret ourselves. Let's do something about it.
Number 7's Future Renew serum reverses physical signs of sun damage with a world-class peptide technology. Number 7, don't regret, just reverse.
Wherever I go, they always ask, where's Waldo? And then, who's Waldo? Sometimes it takes someone who really knows you to make you feel seen.
Yeah, let's say again. Let's see how that.
As Native Americans, we are striving to tell our stories. We strive to be heard, to preserve our history, to heal and strengthen our future. We proudly strive to illuminate our culture and our ancestors every day. Join us in celebrating Native American heritage.
It's 6:58 p.m. and 30-year-old Kathy Lamb has just been found by her husband Jeff, violently beaten to death in their own home. No matter how seasoned an investigator may be, no one can ever be prepared to see a life snuffed out in such a horrific manner. And no one is prepared for what happens next either.
And this woman shows up and says, I'm his fiance. Of course, everybody's ears perk up.
She was a young lady in her 20s. Her name was Joey Stadell.
Can you tell me what brought you to be here? Yes, ma'am. I learned that Jeff's mother had called her and asked her to come to the scene to help emotionally support him. Jeff and I have been together for the last 5 years, dating off and on. We're now currently together. He's one of the couples getting a new house in Jupiter together, which we move into actually June 30th. Okay. Okay, and am I understanding that you and Jeff are engaged? We, right now, we're trying to figure out what we want. Both of us are. We were engaged and we're gonna get married after. We're currently, he's staying here and we had separated. He was reconciling with Kathy, so I'm just trying to figure out who was with who.
Here's Jeff telling them that he and Kathy were reconciling the marriage. Their relationship's great, everything's going perfect, which is a completely different story than what Joey's telling them. It doesn't look good at this point. Jeff is a suspect, and Joey Stidell was a suspect as well.
So of course I wanted to know where she was that day. I was at work. I've been at work since actually like 3:15. Where do you work? Working at the engine, you know?
The detectives will have to check Joey's alibi, but before they do, they canvass the neighborhood where Kathy and Jeff live.
The neighbors were interviewed. They did not hear an argument. They didn't hear anything out of the ordinary.
Nobody saw anything. No one saw a car that looked like it didn't belong. No one saw individuals that looked like they didn't belong. This person was a ghost.
What investigators do have is man's best friend. 3 dogs who obviously can't verbalize what they saw, but can their injuries help tell the story?
During my interview with Jeff at the scene, he felt that the dogs would attack anyone who hurt Kathy. So all the dogs were taken to Animal Care and Control's facility where one of our crime scene people went over and collected DNA swabs from their mouth in case they had bitten someone. Then also clipped the dog's nails and collected those.
Since Jeff lives in the home, investigators know his DNA will be all over the place. But Detective Bradley also wants Jeff examined for blood or dog bites.